What a warm-up that was. Oh, that was fantastic.
I don't know about you, but I feel so warm. Wow, it's like the sun's come out. So today, Adam and I are going to go through some simple warm-up routines that you can use to help you before you start some of your sessions. Now, one of the key things, as I mentioned before we started this, was actually the evidence base is really limited in terms of actually injury prevention and warm-ups. But that's not to say that you shouldn't do a warm-up. It is a good idea from a physiological point of view to get the muscles warm, to get the heart rate up, and also engage the mind into what you're about to do.
What I'm just about to say is it's a cold day, so I need to get warm before I actually get running.
Exactly, yeah. So especially during the winter and these times, it's important just to get kind of the blood flowing and get you warmed up. So today we're going to go through some simple tips. So first of all, we're going to look at just the basic underlying kind of routine you can do for any of your runs, and that might be your easy runs, your long runs, and then we're going to give you some extra bits that you might want to look at if you're going to do some speed work, some bits where you're going to exert yourself that little bit more and want to gain more out of your body. Now Adam, you've mentioned in one of your previous videos about how you warm up inside.
I tend to, in my winter one, because it's cold outside, I tend to put on warm layers, warm up, take the layers off, and then get out into that cold weather.
Definitely, and I 100% recommend doing exactly that. If you've got a space inside, just if you could just do some jogging on the spot, a few sort of squats, lunges, those sorts of things, even the leg swings, which we're going to show you in a second, you can use the inside warmth of your own home before you get out into the winter cold. It just can help just ease the muscles into kind of their warmth and getting ready to get smashing those sessions. Okay, right, should we get on with it?
Let's get on with it.
Let's go. Okay, so one of the things you want to start off with is just a simple 5 to 10 minutes gentle jog. As you can see here, Adam is not exerting himself massively, he's just warming up his muscles and getting himself ready. So, next up, we want to try and mobilise some of those joints. Now, as you will probably remember in a previous video, we talked about the use of synovial fluid in your joints. Well, here you can see Adam is doing some simple leg swings, mainly using his hip joint, and that's going to release more synovial fluid, which is going to have the effect of lubricating the joints, nourishing the cartilage, and just making Adam feel a little less stiff. Now, we can do this with lots of our joints. So next up, we're going to look at some simple lunges and some squats. So now you can see Adam doing his lunges. This is now bringing into play his knee joint and his ankle joint. But as you'll also notice, Adam is using his arms as he would if he was running. So this is now getting that shoulder joint moving. Now the shoulder is something that a lot of runners neglect when doing their warm-ups. But if we think about it, actually we use our shoulder joints in terms of number of movements just as much as we do our legs. It may not be loaded, but it's still being used. You can see the ankle there, he's going into what we call dorsiflexion, where his toes are coming closer to his knees. Again, another functional movement that is related to what Adam will be doing when he's running. So the lunge is a great one for starting to get some real movement and activating some muscles. Not that muscles really need activating, but it just gets us mentally used to using them. Here you'll see Adam doing some squats. Now this is a simple body weight movement, and I don't want any of you to worry about technique on this one. You're not loading anything, so we don't need to worry. As you'll see here, Adam's heels are coming off the floor, his knees are going over his toes, and I'm sure you'll hear lots of personal trainers saying must never do this, but it does not matter when we're just warming ourselves up. We're just doing 5 to 10 of these just to activate and get moving. That's all this is about. So don't worry about how you're doing them, just get down and squat. A simple way, if you want to really simplify this, is just to sit on the sofa and stand back up again. A squat is just really an extension of a sit to stand. So when you stand up from a seated position, in essence, you're doing the second half of a squat. When you sit down to a chair, you're doing the first half of a squat. So that might just be something you could start with. Next up is our favourite star jump. This is a really good one because it starts getting us a little bit more aerobically working. So heart rates will start increasing a little bit more with this. It takes a little bit of coordination, which is also a good thing to incorporate into your warm-ups. Again, using those shoulder joints. It's getting those hips to go laterally. So as you see, they're moving outwards, which is a movement which running doesn't tend to include. So it's quite nice to just open up those hips with a bit of a star jump as well. Now we're moving into some butt kicks or heel flicks. As you see here, Adam is starting with his hands behind him just so he can get those heels right up. But we're now seeing Adam moving into using some running arms, again functionally moving. High knees, something you're sure you've all used or have seen. Again, it's a little bit more of an extension of that hip flexion, getting that movement going. Again, Adam is using those arms as well, getting the heart rate up, blood flowing nicely, getting Adam ready for some of those workouts. Here you'll see Adam doing some A steps. This is a nice simple coordination movement, incorporates a little bit of single leg balance and can be done before you start going into your high knees. Here Adam is doing the A skip. So as you see, this is like the A step we just did a minute ago, but with a bit of a skip in it. So we're progressing, and as with all warm-ups, it should be a progression. So we might progress into this before going into those high knees. We're now moving on to some double leg calf raises. This is getting our gastrocnemius fired up. You can do these with a little bit of a bent leg and going up, and that'll get your soleus going. That's a bit of a complex one. I'm not really thinking we're going to do much of those, but if you really want to be picky. And then you can move with a bit of support to one hand. You can go onto a single leg calf raise as well. So just pushing yourself up onto one leg like that. Again, with these ones, you're only looking to do about 5. So this session is designed to help you prepare for some of those more taxing workouts where you're going to be doing a bit more speed workouts, some of those 800s and 400 meter reps that Adam might set you. And it's looking at progressing you from a nice gentle jog, as Adam's doing here, into a little bit more faster running, to then a really flat out running. And you'll see these in many different books and on the internet, whereby you'll have things like flying 30s. But this is a nice simple way of increasing speed gradually. And as you see here, we've used a t-shirt closest to us and a trainer a bit farther away to mark at this point. So again, Adam now just jogging, speeding up and speeding up loads. And he'll then have to deaccelerate after that. Another way of doing this is by using lampposts in your park. So you could pick a lamppost to run to gently and then speed up till you get to the next one, and then go flat out until you get to the next one and then slow back down again. And it's all about just building your body up to running fast. It's progressively building that speed, and it's making your body triggered, ready to run fast. So here you'll see Adam doing some heel flicks. This time we're doing it in a movement going forward rather than statically. Here Adam's doing some high knees, again going forwards in a movement rather than doing that in a static fashion as we've seen before. Adam here doing some side steps. So this is actually an extension of the star jump we did statically, standing still. We're now moving into a lateral movement, going side to side, really moving those arms. You can even get those arms above your head if you want to when you're doing this. Adam doesn't want to get them above his head today. That's fine. Again, this is a nice warm-up in terms of getting your heart rate going as well. So with the lunges, we can also do those with a movement going forwards rather than statically. And just like before, you'll see Adam using his arms. Get that nice dorsiflexion in the ankle. And hip extension and flexion, but mainly flexion in the hip, which is great. And with warm-ups, you can mess around with things. We could do a bit of skipping, we could do some jumping, we could do some bounding, All things which at the end of the day are going to get you feeling warmer. They're going to get the muscles working and get you focused on what you're about to do in terms of the session. So really there's no fast way of warming up, there's no correct method that's been proven in research to have a better effect than another, but actually at the end of the day it's just about getting warm. And Adam basically at the end of the day enjoys everything he does, so enjoy your warm-up. So then we come on to a cool down. You've finished a hard session, you are probably absolutely shattered, but what's actually quite important is that you just get everything back to a steady feeling of kind of your blood pressure back and your kind of heart rate down nicely. So a gentle 5 to 10 minute run is great for that. It just allows your body just to return to normal and start feeling a bit more relaxed. Again, there's no hard and fast rule for how you do this, but just a nice easy run and then a bit of a walk. What I tend to do personally is I tend to make sure I finish most of my sessions and my runs, meaning that I have got about a 5-minute walk to get home, which just forces me just to walk home. And that's really all you need to do. You don't need to go through any special exercises for this. And then it also allows you to reflect on how well you think the session went. Look at your watch, look at the data, or whatever you want to do. Put it on Strava, because if it's not on Strava,
it didn't happen.
So hopefully that's given you some great tips just to be able to get ready for the sessions that Adam set for you and get you really well and truly prepared for the sessions you're going to be doing. Good luck with the training. Remember, the group's there to help you. Adam's here to help you. Good luck.
Bring it on.